There is a kind of joy, not just relief, that arrives when looking back on years spent wrestling with loss, confusion, or the bewildering accidents of fate, and realizing the world is somehow okay. Not perfect, not simple by any means, but just okay, with all its mysteries and unanswered questions. And this wisdom, this real sense of peace, would be impossible without the body's honest preparation. The journey through pain, through vulnerability and transformation that leaves its mark as experience rather than theory. I'm Mark Roach. This is Transcendent. Malidoma Patrice Somé's life has been shaped by this very pattern. Born in the Dagara tribe of Burkina Faso, Ghana, Africa, his name itself means to make friends with the stranger or the enemy. A prophecy that he would live out with intensity. As a boy, Malidoma was taken from his family at the age of 4 by French missionaries, the Catholic Church, and he was plunged into an education designed to erase everything indigenous and replace it with an alien authority. For 16 years, he endured violence, alienation, and loss, unable to speak his native language or communicate with his own parents. When he returned home as a young man, the familiar world, well, it felt more foreign than the one that stole him away. Only through a series of raw initiations, physically excruciating rituals, silent confrontations with nature, and the healing patience of his guardians did the broken parts of him begin to reassemble. The wisdom wasn't in understanding why or how, but in letting his body and the community do the slow work that intellect alone could never manage. In chapter 9 of the Healing Wisdom of Africa, Somé pivots on his personal story, inviting Western readers to make ritual a living experience. Malidoma describes the 4 essential stages of healing ritual, each requiring preparation, beauty, and an unguarded willingness to be moved. His rituals don't demand repetition or perfection. They ask for sincerity, imagination, and a trust in the unforeseen, the space where spirit enters and transformation flows. The boundaries between self and other, body and soul, seen and unseen, are intentionally blurred through symbolic decoration, invocation, music, and community focus. The reader is reminded that true work can only be done by the heart and body, not by mental mastery or self-doubt. Malidoma's story, woven through the chapter, is both a caution and a promise. For him, real healing only began when he surrendered control, accepted the mystery, and allowed both grief and joy to have their place in ritual. The capacity for transformation belonged not to answers, but to readiness, preparing the heart, letting go of self-consciousness, and welcoming the unexpected. The approach mirrors the living dynamism of nature, from which ritual draws its wisdom. The elements of fire, water, earth, mineral, and nature serve as gateways to the healing that community and spirit can provide. So as this chapter closes, remember that Malidoma's journey and the gifts it carries. Ritual is the vessel, body is the altar, and community is the mirror. The shape that suffering leaves behind is not an absence, but a ground for new meaning, a meaning grown in the slow, generous process of authentic preparation and surrender. I'm Mark Roach. This is Transcendent, wishing you all the best. We don't need every answer. The body's readiness to feel and belong is where healing begins.